Whether you're currently considering starting full-time work and full-time school or you're already in it, this video will help you. I'm Daniel, and at multiple points over the last few years, I've been both a full-time employee and a full-time student. I have many academic goals and many professional goals, so that's why I've done both at the same time. And I'm currently in this state. One of my biggest pieces of advice is if you start feeling anxious about all the things you have to do both at work and at school, instead of freaking out like the list of things to do is so long, how will I even do it? Just start on a task. It honestly does not matter which task you start with, whether it's a really easy task or a hard task. Getting something done right away can help a ton, because then instead of freaking out about all the things you have to do, you're already just forcing yourself to get started. Once you start on task one, it's going to build momentum for you to be able to do task two, task three, and then by the time you get to like task four, you're not even worrying about it anymore. You're like, I'm just getting everything done now. And it turns out that you end up being able to work very efficiently that way. And that's really my second big tip, is to optimize the time that you're actually working on things. There's some psychological theory, honestly I forget which one it is, that says that the amount of time it takes to do something, or rather, let me rephrase it, the amount of time you have to accomplish a task will make it so that the work you do will expand to fill that time. Meaning, let's say you have a task and you have 8 hours to do it. Oftentimes, if that's your only task for the day, you will take 8 hours or maybe a little bit less to do it. Whereas if you only have 1 hour to do it, you will find a way to get it done in that hour. Even if it's not perfect, it's going to be done in an optimally efficient way. And that has always been my approach when it comes to full-time work and full-time school, where you really don't have more than about 16 hours a day to work on things. So you really just have to do things well. What I say is optimally well, where you're okay not being a perfectionist, but you're also not going to produce garbage. But you're going to get it done, and it's just going to be done in the time that you have, and then you're going to move on to the next thing. So you got to be willing to be efficient, optimize, and when it comes to school specifically, my third tip is to think about where you can afford, in terms of optimal thinking, to get a lower grade on an assignment. For example, I was taking a class and I was essentially working the equivalent of full-time work between multiple part-time jobs. And I knew I really just truly did not have time to finish a well fleshed out final paper. I was taking a graduate course in metaphysics, which is philosophy, and our final paper was an important part of our grade, but I knew that my grade was high enough to where I actually could afford not to turn in trash, but to turn in something that was not up to my typical standards, and that would have been okay. So I decided to go ahead and just do what I could in the amount of time I had and then submit it. And I ended up getting a C on that paper, which is low for me. I typically do a lot better than that. But I just knew that that would be fine because the rest of my grade in the class was good. My final grade for the course was an A-, which I was really happy with because I think that reflected doing optimally well while working full-time as well. So find where you can take some lower grades. If you have to turn in assignments late, check with your syllabus, your professor beforehand if this is okay, but a lot of the time it can be okay to turn in an assignment late. You'll just get deducted a penalty, whether it's 10%, 20% per day, something. Obviously that's not ideal, but sometimes it can work. Let's say, for example, like a real life case for me is, I know in the past I've gotten home from school and work where it's been just full day. I get home at like 10 p.m. and I'm just so tired. There's an assignment due at midnight and I wonder, would it be better just to force it for these next few hours and then get less sleep, or just go to sleep now, do it tomorrow and take the 10 or 20% penalty? Almost always I just take the late penalty because For me, if I'm sleep deprived, I can't do work well the next day. And then that defeats the whole purpose of trying to do a lot well. So I will always just accept the late penalty rather than force myself to do something and then get less sleep and then produce something that's actually trash because I can't really think, I'm so tired. Another big tip, a fourth big tip, is to intentionally take time when you need to rest your mind. For me, my full-time work currently is very mentally strenuous, and then my full-time schooling is also mentally strenuous. So when I feel like I just need to sleep or nap or just watch YouTube shorts or something totally restful, I do it. Yesterday I had been planning to stay in lab till the night, but I realized in the afternoon I was just so tired. I felt just exhausted from this week, so I knew I needed to just eat some dinner and then lay down. And it was awesome. I literally just scrolled YouTube shorts for an hour and took it easy, and that ended up being great because at least for me, I guess I'll just speak for myself, I can't work at 100% capacity 24 hours a day. I do need time to rest. And for me, that's helped me feel refreshed to go out after that rest period and then just continue crushing it. So I highly recommend taking intentional time to just rest everything in whatever way works for you, whether it's building Legos, knitting, video games, movies, naps, all the above, whatever is good. And then fifth, think about the friends that you really want to spend time with and be okay saying no to other social things. You don't have to be a complete loner to be a full-time student and full-time employee, but you should know that it's actually going to be tough to have a very strong social life in addition to those things. I've done it in the past. It is brutal in a way, but also really good for me who's much more extroverted. I love being around people. However, yeah, you do have to think about which friendships you really want to grow during this time for however long you're going to be a full-time student and a full-time worker, and really foster those close friendships while being willing to say no to other cool social things with people who are cool, but maybe you aren't as invested in that friendship, which is totally fine and normal. And really on the same note, you have to get over your FOMO if you have that. FOMO stands for fear of missing out. And you just really have to be okay not going to cool things, and you just can't have FOMO if you're going to be doing this. It's tough sometimes when you know something really cool is happening, but you have to study for an exam or else you'll get a horrible grade, or you have to write a paper. But like for me, I honestly don't get FOMO anymore. I've said no to so many cool things in the past few years. I've been in school for a long time, so in the past years, you kind of just get used to it. And you still get to do cool stuff as well, but they're the things that you really look forward to with the people you really want to spend time with. I hope that's helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.